Yeah, I know this question is going to depend on what symptoms people are experiencing and what, negative things people are experiencing, but what do you feel like are some really important tests just generally, maybe for anybody to really get whether or not they're experiencing crazy negative symptoms or not? Like what are some of these maybe like tests that you wouldn't necessarily get from your typical Western doctor, if you will, that are maybe really important for a lot of us?
The one that is the kind of my golden child is the organic acid test, the OAT test. It's a urine test that you can take that not only it basically tests the metabolites of the microbiota that are in your body and also the metabolites of energy production. So it's able to tell you things like whether you have Aspergillus mold or candida or yeast. It can also tell you how your neurotransmitters are being produced. If you're having, maybe your neurotransmitters aren't being produced because you aren't getting enough of your B vitamins, right? So it gives you kind of a nice picture. I use the organic acid test in my practice as a compass. It's a really beautiful place to begin with people, especially if they're kind of confused on what is happening. So definitely the OAT test. For my female patients, I love running actual Dutch panels, hormonal panels, real comprehensive hormonal panels. Those can be incredibly beneficial to understanding what's going on. And then oftentimes the third most used, actually I'll say two more. I was going to say an environmental toxin panel is really helpful. I don't think a lot of people consider the importance of the toxins in our environment as it relates to how our body is responding from a gut brain perspective. So environmental toxin panels are super helpful to understand what types of, molds, heavy metals, things are in your environment that could be blocking certain hormonal pathways or things like that. And then the IgG food sensitivity testing. So that's the last one that I would say is probably the fourth most common that I use in my practice. But I will say that the IgG food sensitivity testing is a finger prick blood lab that you take, pretty simple blood lab, very different than what you would get at an allergen office that does the skin prick test, right? But I will say that the IgG test, the only thing to remember if you're using that is that you should never use it as your lifetime Bible, because as your body heals, oftentimes I will see those labs change. And you will notice that you're actually not as sensitive to certain foods over time than you were when you took that test. So it's something that you would want to run multiple times during the course of a gut protocol to see how your body is improving.